Okay, we've got a wave game here for you, which is a high transition, high tempo counter-attacking game. We'll work through what the setup's going to be, we'll have a look at the instructions, and then we'll come to the coaching points at the end. Okay, so the setup for this drill is going to be roughly a five-a-side sized pitch. But make that judgment yourself. This is going to be really hard work because depending on how early you get into this drill, you are in all of the transitions. So it's a really tough exercise cardio-wise. So if this is too big, this is going to be really tough on the players. So for the amount of players I've got here, so I've got 8 outfield players, 2 in each corner to start, and then 2 goalkeepers. I would roughly work on a five-a-side size pitch. But again, if you think that's too small, it's not getting the most out of your players, it's not challenging them enough, make it bigger. That's absolutely fine. Second part of the setup is we want 2 goalkeepers. They don't have to be actual goalkeepers, just 2 people acting as goalkeepers. And we want 2 goals for us to score into. And then finally, we want to make sure there's plenty of balls to reload. So especially in those corners where we'll be dribbling in, just to make sure that we can have that high tempo transition and we're not waiting for a ball. So in terms of instructions, so the game starts as a 1 versus the goalkeeper. So a 1-on-1 versus the goalkeeper. You would have seen that the white dribbled in to start with, had a shot at goal. And then as soon as they had a shot at goal, 2 of the blues then came in to make a 2v1. They've gone and shot and scored, and now it's a 3v2 for the whites against the blues. So we've always got that overload in transition. And now the blues will dribble in, and it'll be a 4v3 in the counter-attack there. So this is really, really high tempo, because if you was that one player that dribbled in versus the goalkeeper to start with, you've been in all of these different transitions. So once you get the natural pauses after we've finished the 4v3 here, use that as your natural coaching interventions and use that to stop the play and coach. And that will give the players an extra 30 seconds rest. But just to talk through this, so now we've got a 1v the goalkeeper, right? So this is the kickoff. The whites are dribbling in, unopposed, have a shot at goal. They score or they don't score. As soon as that ball's gone dead, now 2 of the blues come in, 1 dribbles in, and we're looking for that movement around the back or expressive movement to give that defender something to think about. The blues go on and score. Now a white dribbles in and an extra white comes in from the opposite corner to make it a 3v2. So we've always got that overload in attack and always got that underload in defence. So we've got to change our mentality, the way we're thinking constantly. And now finally we go into a 4v3. So we go into the overload for the blues. And this is the last rotation. And you'll notice in the top left-hand corner there's one player that always doesn't get involved with the game. Make sure that player is swapped round. And it just gives each player an extra, 2 minutes rest. So in terms of session design, and let's look at the 3 R's for this. Like how realistic is this situation? I'd say really realistic, because you find yourself in these overloaded transitionary moments all of the time. So it's very, very rare that you get counter-attacked and you're in an overload as a defence yourself. So it is realistic. Is it repetitive? Yes, again, it's repetitive. We're going through the skill-based practice that we want to do over and over again. So the skill and the coaching points we're trying to get out can be coached consistently. And is it relevant? Again, yes, it's relevant to a match day. It's relevant to a game, and all of those high transitionary moments that we might see, and the mentality for the players to have to switch from one action attacking to another action defending. So in terms of the coaching points, like what are we actually trying to achieve and coach out of this session? We know the overall theme and objective is to work on our counter-attacking moments and our transitionary moments and winning those key moments. I suppose what you need to decide as a coach is, are you working with the defending team, in this instance the defending players, or are you working with the players in possession that have got the ball? In this session, in this example, I'll be working with the attacking players. So some of the things I'd be looking to coach and the capabilities I'd be looking to coach would be movement, deception and timing, and let's take a look at those individually. So our first coaching point, and probably one of the most important in this drill, is our movement. So we've got an overload situation. It's really important that we take advantage of that overload, and we're unpredictable in our movement as well. So what the defending team are going to want us to be is predictable, and they're going to try and force us into predictable situations so they can delay and slow the play down and look to make a situation where they can even it up. So if they can cut off a passing lane to the third player, that makes it a 2v2 and makes it much easier to defend against. What we need to do as attackers is make that movement unpredictable. Now, it might be a diagonal run around the back of the player with the ball. What we can't be is static. And what we do need to do is give defenders something to think about. So there's questions that are entering their mind. Do they go here? Do they stay where they are? Do they stick to their position? Do they track? All of those sort of questions need to be going through the defender's mind, and we need to be unpredictable in our movement. What you might want to do as a coach here is, when you do step in and have your interventions, is just play some of those scenarios through. So if you think that, for example, the Whites have been unpredictable in their movement, it'd been easy to defend against, step in and intervene at that point and show them how you want the movement to be. Maybe there's a run around the back that you think should have been executed, and then restart the play from that and make sure those behaviours land. Because that's what we want to see. That's the objective for me here, is to make sure that the attacking movement is as we want it to be. If we see instances where we can improve that and where we can intervene as coaches and we can really coach out those core movements and those core skills, then definitely step in and do that. And don't be afraid to do it as well. And when you restart the play, restart it through the actions that you want, so that behaviour's landed. The second point that we're looking to coach is deception. So what do we mean by deception? We mean, can we, for want of a better word, can we trick the defenders into thinking we're going to go one way and then we fake our run and go another? Can we give them a little nudge? Can we get close, give them a little push? Not to a foul, but just knock them off balance and then go a different way. Deception is really, really important in football. Is it a disguise of a pass from the player that's got the ball? Again, when we said in the movement section, like, we want the defenders to be asked questions of, we want them to have questions in their mind, and we don't want anything to be predictable. So if we do add a bit of deception in, and we're shifting to play one way, but actually we go the other, we go to make a run one way, but then we shift and go the other. All of those sort of things are really, really powerful and should be used. And again, if you get a chance to step in and coach those points, then do that. So the final point I would coach for the attacking team would be timing. So this lends into movement massively. And all three of these points are really heavily linked, actually. So movement, deception, and timing. But timing individually, like, are we getting the timing of the run correct? Are we playing the ball at the right time? Is the timing correct for the run that's been made? Is it played in front of the player perfectly so they can just run onto it and get a shot? Or is it played behind them because we got the timing wrong? Not through execution in terms of like technique, but did we time that pass incorrectly? So the player's run was in front of the ball and then they had to check back. That's gave the defender time to get back in and delay and slow things down. So those 2 points, so timing of the run, timing of the pass, really, really important. So just to go back through those 3 points of attack again. So I'm looking to coach movement. Are we unpredictable? We're not being predictable because that's what the defenders want. Type of runs we're looking for is a run round the back like this, or core moves that we would normally do. We're not trying to be static. We're on our toes all the time, and we're giving defenders questions. We're giving defenders things to think about. Deception. Can we disguise our intentions with a pass or a run to confuse the defenders? And then the timing of our runs and the timing of our passes as well are really, really important. So 3 things to coach through this drill. I wasn't coaching out of possession for the defenders in this drill, but if I was and you wanted to do, you could do this exact same session, but do a completely different coaching mindset. You could coach the defenders in a second session, it would be a completely different drill. But if I was going to coach the defenders and coach the out of possession team, some of the things that I'd be looking to coach are our positioning. So our approach to defending, the defensive principles. Are we delaying the defenders? Are we making them predictable? Are we slowing down on our approach? Are we showing them one way? Are we scanning out of possession? Is our shape correct? Have we got a press and a cover and balance? If we've got enough players, have we just got a press and a cover? And are we scanning out of possession as well? So are we having a look round, recognising the danger and then adapting to that as well? So if you was going to do defensive coaching points, then that's what I'd be coaching. Okay, that's the end of the drill. Thank you very much for watching. Just to recap, we've had a wave game. We're working on counter-attacks and those high transitionary moments because that's where games are won and lost. We're coaching movement, deception and timing in attack. If we was looking at the out-of-possession team, we'd be coaching positioning, defensive principles and out-of-possession scanning as well. But thank you very much. Please like and subscribe to the video. Drop a comment in the comment section. And yeah, thanks very much.